just gonna get on here and see if anybody is sitting around just wanting to talk about a little turkey hunting today. So I'm gonna give it a second, see if anybody signs on. If not, then I will sign off and I will delete this. But I am sitting around bored and wanted to chat. So we are 1 minute in and nobody has signed on. I see one person viewing here. Wanting to do a little turkey hunting. I remember to put my glasses on today so I could see if anybody posted any comments. All right, well, it's been a couple of minutes. Nobody's signed on to talk, so I will be deleting this and maybe signing on at a later time and just see if there's anybody up here who wants to chat a little while, talk a little turkey hunting, deer hunting, whatever you want to do. But with turkey season coming on, I figured now would be a good time to talk about strategies and if you have any questions. I will be talking a little bit of turkey hunting if that's what you're into. And season's almost here, so if you have any questions, let's talk about it. Ask away. If you want to get up here and ask some questions about turkey hunting, especially if you're new to it, because I will tell you, I've killed a lot of turkeys, but I pretty much had to teach myself and trial and error. So we can talk about a little, strategy. We can talk about tips that you guys do. Stefan, I don't want to mess up that last name. Luca says hi. Hello back to you. I hope you're doing well today. We got 24 viewers on today, so as of right now, so that is great. Let me know where you're watching from and if you turkey hunt. Turkey hunting, turkey season is just about here, and man, I'm all about it. As you can see, got a little bit of everything here in the house. So I do a lot of hunting and fishing, but turkey hunting is probably one of the last things that I've ever added. Um, and that's really what I'm into. Roman, what's going on, man? I see you said hi as well. And hi and bye. So I understand if you don't want to stick around, but if you have questions, let's say you've never turkey hunted before, you want to turkey hunt, and you've got questions, ask away, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. One thing I will tell you about turkey hunters, deer hunters, just hunters in general, if you ask 10 hunters their opinion on something, you're subject to get 10 different responses. And all I can tell you is that I have a few years under my belt doing it now, and I went into my fourth season turkey hunting before I was ever successful. I was kind of forced to hunt public land that was pressured very hard here in eastern North Carolina. And so I had a lot of trial and error, trial by fire, if you will, and finally succeeded. And once I killed that first bird, it was eye opening, and I've typically tagged out every year since. Um, and I do have some invites to go to other states this year now that I'm retired, and I plan to want to do that. So, um, but I have a lot of opinions as far as what's the best way to turkey hunt and depending upon where you're at. So again, I've hunted public land very, very hard, and a lot of people will tell you that the eastern wild turkey, out of all the subspecies, are some of the hardest. to hunt. They've got a pea-sized brain, but they're very, very keen on if something's not right. And I've had them hang up just out of range before and stare right at me when I know there's no way they saw me, but they suspected that I was there, and they turned around and went the other direction. Um, so yeah, I have not hunted any of the other subspecies of wild turkey yet, but I do plan to do that because I want to start working on my slam. I do want to go after the Merriam's turkey next, somewhere around like Nebraska or somewhere like that, and just because that's a beautiful bird, and um, and then I'd love to go after the Osceola down in Florida. But yeah, that's me. But surely there are people out there that are into hunting and fishing and maybe they haven't tried turkey hunting yet. I will tell you how I kind of got into it. Um, my father he loved hunting. He introduced me to deer hunting, fishing, and things like that. But he was never into turkey hunting. Just it was something that never really interested him, and I did have an interest in it later on in life. And I bought one of those old little push pin style turkey calls. Didn't take really any skill to do it. You can't hardly find them anymore. Um, but I went to a public land spot just as the sun was coming up and hit that thing. And that darn, I'm reading your comments here. Uh, when I hit that thing and a turkey gobbled back at me, I was hooked from that time on. So um, once they gobbled, again, I did not kill that turkey, and I went the first 3 years didn't. I learned a little bit all along, and I literally killed my first turkey ever. That turkey right there, I killed him right behind my house, and I did not even know there were turkeys back there. And a buddy of mine that lived beside me at the time, he told me about them, and he was like, he said, "Hey, why don't you go back there behind your house and hunt?" And I said, "Man, I didn't even know there were birds back there." He said, "Yeah, there's at least a dozen." So I went back there. He told me, he said, "Go back there, set your trail camera up. You'll see them." He told me where to put them up. I did, and actually went up there, put the trail camera on there, called them, saw where they were coming through. Went that next spring opening day and killed that bird. The bird just right across my room there, right there. And ever since that bird, I learned a lot. That bird, it was exactly what you wanted. He was gobbling on the roost. He uh, he ended up flying down, tried to flank me, was going to go around me. He actually went to the field behind me, about 30 yards behind me, and came into about 30 yards, and I shot him. That was my very first turkey. Since that time, I now have put a lot of my friends. I actually put my dad on his first turkey a few years ago, and so I've learned a little bit, um, of what to do, at least what to try, what not to be scared of trying. But I do hear people say, that they've gone through similar things, that they know that there's turkeys there, but they don't even know where to start. Um, so if you've got questions, particularly about birds that you're hunting, um, ask away. Let me know what your questions are. And again, I said this earlier, you may get 10 different uh, opinions from 10 different people on turkey hunting. All I can tell you is what has worked for me. And if anybody has any questions, ask away. I've only got one person on here right now. He's jumped as high as 24, 25 a while ago. But if you have a specific question about what to do, um, like what to look for a sign, um, what do you do first thing in the morning? What about afternoon hunts? Things like that. Feel free to ask away if you have questions pertaining to turkey hunting. Ask away. Just trying to kill a little time here, guys. It's almost April. The season is a coming. Are you ready? What do you use? What kind of weapon do you use? I'd love to get on one with archery, but I haven't mastered that one yet. I haven't decided to take that plunge. I don't know if I feel that confident yet. Be What about you guys? Where do you hunt? I'm like I mentioned earlier. I'm in eastern North Carolina, the land of the hardest turkeys to hunt, in my opinion. And but nothing quite gets me going like the turkey hunting does, as far as outdoor. I love my deer hunting, and I love the videography side of things too. If you go to my channel, you'll actually see videos on there. I've got a bunch of turkey hunting videos on there where I've turkey hunted. I've taken friends and I put them on their first and second birds, and even multiple. So I know what works for me, but it may not work for you. But I do have ideas. Um, so nobody's asking any questions. So I guess I will start the topic. Some people say, "Do you only hunt turkeys in the mornings?" And that answer is no. I have killed as many turkeys in the afternoon as I have in the mornings. Uh, I have I have harvested birds that were making their way back towards their roost in the afternoons. I've harvested birds at 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon when they were just out and about. I've had them fly down and come right to me. Um, I've had them fly down, walk past me, go away, stay gone, and gobble in the woods for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and then turn around and decide to come back and investigate. So every bird is going to be different, but you know, you've heard the old saying, you can't get them sitting on the couch. That's the way I feel about turkey hunting. Um, I go out there and I try to find them. I do not prefer to sit in one spot and wait for turkeys. Even if hey, if you got a spot where you're like, these turkeys are going to be here, I always see them in this field at this time of day. Uh, it's just not fun to me to sit and wait. I've done it. It's just not my favorite way to hunt. I prefer to run and gun style. When I carry my video camera, I carry a very light tripod with my camera set up on it, and I have a vest on with a cushion on it that I can sit on. Half the time, I don't even use the cushion because I'm moving. Once I strike a bird up and get them to gobble, I'll usually make a move and try to cut some ground and go to him, especially if he's several hundred yards away. If it's going to be hard for me to get to him, I'll sit still and I'll start working that bird. I'll call and do certain things in my calling sequence, and scratching the leaves, which is one of my favorite things in the world to do. Um, I will do that. Um, but I very rarely sit still and wait on a bird. Um, Last year, I killed my first turkey ever over decoys. All the years that I've done it, I have scared birds away using decoys. Um, to me, it's just one more thing I have to deal with, other than my camera equipment. So it's just not my thing. And I'm going to see if anybody else is up here. I have to wait for this message to clear. Okay. But no, I prefer not to use decoys when I'm turkey hunting. But I will. Last year, I wanted to get an up close and personal hunt, which is on my channel. If you go to my channel, watch the videos there. There is one up there from last year. There's actually two hunts on one video where I missed a bird, my fault, and then there's another one where I actually got them. The same bird, same field, just a different day. I assume it was the same bird. But I used decoys on the second hunt, and because I wanted to get up close and personal, I'd never had a good experience with having them come in and interact with the decoys, and I wanted to do that. And I really didn't wait for it. As soon as he come in the range, I got him. I decided to go ahead and take him. Um, but an old timer told me years ago to leave the decoys at the house until you learn to turkey hunt. He said it will make you a better turkey hunter. So that's what I did. And I got to where I did not scare turkeys away near as much as I did when I first started. And I believe had he told me that in my first second year in, I probably could have harvested a bird, um, rather than trying to set up decoys and call them in to me and things like that. Um, I will use the decoys now. Now that I harvested one last year with the decoys, I will do that. And I bought those decoys to take a youth hunter out, and we had success that day as far as calling them in. I called three longbeards in that came right out in front of us, and he missed them. It would have been his first turkey. I think he was 8 years old, and he missed, and they were all mature birds. And I went back like a week later and harvested one of those birds. I think I actually ended up harvesting two of those three um, throughout that season. But anyway, uh, decoys just aren't my thing, but I will use them more just because it was fun and entertaining watching the birds kind of interact with them. Um, but calling, what kind of calls do you guys prefer to use? When I first got started, like I told you, I had a little push button, a little push rod style call because I didn't know what I was doing. And, and I slowly I bought a box call. I have never liked using a box call. I haven't had any success using it. A lot of people have, I just have not. And it's user error, I am sure. But I got to where I could use a mouth call really good. The little latex diaphragm calls, I could use those. And um, up until a few years ago, it was no problem at all. I could purr, I could cut, I could yelp, I could do keys, all of that stuff. And then I had surgery for sleep apnea, and they cut out my tonsils, they removed my uvula, did palate reconstruction, and for some reason, when they did all of that, it was a terrible surgery. By the way, I do not recommend it, but ever since then, I have not been able to use a mouth call good. I can still yelp a little bit with it, but I can't purr. Uh, and the sound like Chewbacca makes. A lot of people can do that using their uvula and stuff there in the back of their mouth, back about their throat. I don't have one. I can't make that noise anywhere anyway now. So the only way that I can purr with a mouth call now is to literally kind of like do the trill with my lips, whereas that style, I have to do that with the call in my mouth. So I'll do that and then make a little cut noise with the call. That's literally that, and a soft yelp is about the only thing I can do anymore with that. So once I realized that that wasn't an option anymore, I went more to the pot style calls. And so now I have multiple of those. My favorite is a glass call. Um, I also have a slate. I also have what they call a purr pot that was custom made. Most of these are custom made calls that where I know some call makers, and but the purr pot is good when they're up close and you just want something very subtle. All you can pretty much do on that thing is purr. You can yelp on it too, but it's very low volume. The call is thick. It's probably that big around or that thick. It's just hollow on the bottom with a piece of slate on top, and you literally, when you drag your striker across there, it just makes a very subtle purr. And those birds can hear it, but they're going to have to be up close to hear it. And that is that will bring them in um, when another one won't. Because a lot of times on a regular call, the volume is going to be so loud, it's going to be so aggressive, it might not work. But a very low volume per seems to work. Um, so it's just something to consider if you have not added a per pot to your calls. You definitely need to look into those. Um, so yeah, that's the main thing that I use now. I will throw a diaphragm call in my mouth and hold it there, because sometimes you're going to need a call and you can't. Especially when I've got the gun, I've got the camera, and I'm trying to maneuver everything. I can't also have my hands down there working a strike or on a pot call. So um, and not to mention sometimes it's good to have two different calls. I have used one call before and a bird would hang up and he would gobble, but he wouldn't come in. Whereas I've also, you know, used the pot call and then threw the additional uh, yelp in there from the diaphragm call, and it seemed to work. So that's something to consider. Um, but if you don't, people say, well, if you don't use your decoys to turkey hunt, what do you do? How do you get them in there? Well, I do not sit right on the edge of a field. If I say I'm working my way through some farmland on some of our leases. Let's say I'm going through there and that turkey gobbles, and I'm within 100 yards of them. That's as close as I want to try to move. So a lot of times, let's say, and I'm using this as an example. Let's say you've got a field, you're on one side of the field, the bird's on the other side of the field, deep down in the woods, but he's coming. What are you going to do? Well, I can tell you, if you sit on the edge of that field and you call, that bird's going to hang up probably on that far side of that field. He might make it to the middle of the field, depending upon how big it is, but he's going to stand there and he's going to gobble at you, telling you, woman, hey, I'm over here, come this way. So what I do, I dip back into the woods, and I still want it to be where I can slightly see the field, and if that bird comes across there, I can see that turkey coming, but I don't want him to be able to tell that there's no turkey in the field. That's what happens. That's why they hang up. If that bird comes out into the field, if he comes out of the woods and comes in the field, and you're sitting on the edge of the field, number one, if you call, he's gonna be just scuttle up right on you. He's gonna pick you out. Um, but let's say he don't see you, but he comes out there in the field. He just heard yelping. He heard the hen calling. He's coming out there looking for her, and now she's not there. He's gonna stand there and gobble. He's gonna get kind of skittish. He was liable to go back in the woods the way he came, especially if he left other turkeys to come look for you. He's going to go back where he came from. So what I like to do, I'll dip into the woods another 20 yards, or so, just far enough where I can still see out in the field if he were to bust out in the field, and I can see what the reaction of the bird when I call to him. And what I want him to do is to get frustrated enough that he's going to come across that field and come looking for me. That has worked so many times. Um, when I put one of my buddies on his first turkey ever, that's what we did. We hunted all day and walked literally like 10 miles that day. And we went and ate lunch. When we were coming back, the bird literally was walking down a spot that I had never turkey hunted before. I had deer hunted over there before, but um, I walked down there and this was 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, just walking down this path, and all of a sudden I called and he gobbled. And when he did, my buddy was like, "All right, now what are we gonna do? Now, what's the plan?" The first thing I said is, "Let's dip down in the woods, go in there about 20 yards, set up, and we're gonna work him." We did that. It worked like a charm. The bird literally, we watched him come across the field into the woods. He came into the woods with us, and then he shot him at like 15 yards away. And it doesn't work all the time, but the reason why you want to dip into the woods is he can't see the decoy, so he assumes that hen is in the woods somewhere. He knows where you're calling from, so he's going to come in close and he's going to investigate it. That has worked for me. I don't even know how many times. I've had them come in so close that it was thick where I happened to be at, and I couldn't see the bird, but I could hear him, and he would be gobbling. And I've had him walk away, and I've got him so interested that he turned around and actually, like, they'd be 80, 100 yards away, like, have already come in, couldn't find me, and went away, and then turn around and come back. And I have harvested that bird. Yuli Hyper Pursuit, how you doing? Where are you based out of? I am in Eastern North Carolina, um, where I have jokingly said is the land of the hardest turkeys in the world to kill. I think everybody says that, wherever they're from. But for me, they say Eastern is hard, and it is. They're very they're pig-headed. They don't like to read the script, at times. um, and we don't have birds like a lot of other states do either. Um, where I'm at, if you see a dozen turkeys in a field, you have hit the jackpot. Um, Now, this time of year, up until right around this time, I was behind my house just a couple weeks ago, and I walked up on 27 turkeys in the back of the field back there that I just walked up on. Um, by April the 1st, those birds will not be around. They're going to be, right now, they're still in those winter flocks. They haven't quite busted up yet. But as it continues to get warmer, they're going to bust up. And then you're going to see those smaller groups of, two and three. Um, Around here, when I mentioned earlier that I had used decoys and called 3 toms in for a youth hunter, those were 3 long beers together. I have never had that happen until then. So most time it's going to be one bird, 2 at the most. You might get a long beard and a jake to come in, a young bird. But most of them, you're not going to have multiple long beards together here. We just don't have the numbers that a lot of states do. Um, you asked, you ever make it out west for these gobblers? I have not. There at the beginning when I first started this video, that's one of the things that I actually mentioned on there, that the next out-of-state hunt that I want to do is maybe somewhere like Nebraska or somewhere like that. I'd love to get on a Merriam's turkey just because they're beautiful. I'd love to have one to work towards my slam. And I'd love to have one mounted right here beside my other one. For the most part, I don't even half the time keep their feathers anymore unless somebody wants them. If wants the wings for making wing bone calls and stuff like that. Just because I don't have anywhere to keep them anymore. But I would really, really love to go even further. I know you said farther west, Utah. I'd love to go somewhere like that one day too. Um, and then maybe go down to Florida, get after Osceola. Um, that's big on my list too. My biggest issue has been my work, and I retired last year from law enforcement, and so now that I've kind of opened up where I can do a little bit more this year, um, within reason, still trying to be paying for a kid to go to college this year. So, um, so anything within reason. But I am saving up to kind of go do some of those hunts because I love it. Love deer hunting. As you can see, there I've got them around and love a little bit of everything. Um, but I love turkey hunting. That's my thing. It's just so much fun, for me. Um, but no, I would definitely love to go out west, and not just for turkeys, but different game to go out there. But out of Utah, and turkey here is definitely unique in its own way. I believe that. What subspecies do you have in Utah? Is that Merriam's as well, or are those more Rio? I really don't know. I also know that some of those states have some hybrid birds, Rios and Merriams. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I do know that like some of them have some. Some states have, especially even the Midwest ones, they have Rios, Merriams, and even some Easterns, and then they tend to get some hybrid birds going too. But a Merriam's is beautiful to me. That's why I want a Merriam's bad. But yeah, somewhere like Utah, if you could knock two birds out with one stone, that would even be better. Get a Rio and a Merriam in one trip would just be phenomenal. Now I don't know if you're a one bird state or two. Here in North Carolina, we're a two bird state, um, and sometimes I guess depending upon your schedule and how aggressive you are with them would determine if you get one or not. But last year I literally only killed one bird, and that was the one I killed with decoys. Got it on video if you want to go see that. The video's got a title, something in there about the ups and downs of turkey hunting. And so if you get that, um, you know, get a chance to go over there and watch that is good because it's got a miss, a swing and a miss, and it's also got me getting lucky with the same bird on the same farm in the same field on a later date. So um, that's crazy. I'm wanting an Eastern. It's crazy to me the difference out west, all Merriams and Rios. Yeah, I have heard Merriams are easy to kill. Not so sure about Rios, but I've heard Merriams are probably one of the easiest. And it's weird because I also hear that about Osceolas. Um, that's one reason. Like every guide that I've talked to down in Florida, they're like guaranteed just about. They're like, man, we guarantee you, we'll book a 3-day hunt, but you'll probably tag out day one. I've heard the same thing on the Merriams. Um, but I talked with another guy recently, a buddy of mine, and he was like, dude, there's so much public land down in Florida. Just go down there and, stay at a hotel, find you some public land, go down there, call. You'll have one gobble, go move, make a move on them and get them. Um, they're saying they're that plentiful and that easy to harvest down there. I don't know. Again, I've never hunted them, so I can't say. This is just somebody that has and had a lot of success with them. But yeah, Eastern North Carolina, as far as the eastern birds, though, I've heard people that have hunted in South Carolina and Tennessee, Georgia, even Virginia, and they say that they go on out of state hunts after these birds and everything, and they have so much success. And they say they come to North Carolina, and it is just tough, um, and it is because we have a lot of predators here, as far as uh, coyotes and bobcats and things like that. Um, that I think keep these birds. A lot of times they are not vocal, and I hate going after a quiet bird. I just hate it. But you know, it's boring to me. I don't like having to put a stalk on a quiet turkey. That's just not exciting to me. I'd rather them interact with me and gobble and you know I try to coax. It's something about the challenge of coaxing one, even if you don't want to be in. Um, Not last year, but the year before, I put my buddy Tyler on a bird. And we're walking along, and we see this bird from like, shoot, he's 300, 400 yards away and down a stretch. And we had to literally like dip in close to the woods along the wood lines and cut the distance down. Well, he ended up going in the woods, and we got set up on him probably 250 yards away and ended up we couldn't go through the woods anymore because it was just too noisy. And every time we would move forward, the bird would move further away. So no decoys, no anything. And I still called that bird back. And it's on video. That's also a hunt on there. I think that one says Magnum Redemption on the video because that's what we always, me and my buddy Tyler would say, because he missed one day and swore that his gun was off, and it wasn't. And so anyway, we ended up going back, and he said he was after redemption, and then he said Magnum Redemption. So when he got this bird, he called it the Magnum Redemption hunt, and making up for that swing and a miss. But but yeah, man, if like I say, if anybody's like out of state and you ever want to come here and hunt, I am not an outfitter. I just enjoy hunting, and I've got this outdoor channel. But again, It's not like a business. I don't charge people to go on hunts. I just enjoy doing it. I especially love taking new hunters that have never, never done it, and just watching them, succeed. And but yeah, if anybody ever wanted to do it, like hit me up. We can try to set something up. And if public land's your thing, we got public land up here too. And there are birds, they're just pressured. Um, but I've got birds around the house here, and I just have to work it out, to where it I could get permission, if you will, to be able to take anybody. Because again, I'm not a guide. I'm not going to charge people to go on turkey hunts. But I love the barter system. If you have somewhere and you've got birds, hey, we can always do it. Um, Bring you up here, put you on an eastern, you take me somewhere and put me on a bird. Um, I'm not against killing another eastern. To me, so far that's all I've gotten, and they're my favorite. But but I would love a Midwest bird, and like a Miriam's and a Rio. Just start working on my slam. But anyway, anybody got any more questions that they want to ask? Anything that you're having issues with, far as your as far as your hunting? Is there anything that you're having issues with or that you're confused about? Um, I will say this. I will think a lot of people will be like, number one issue is overcalling. You know, I disagree with that. I think the number one issue is lack of patience. Um, you know, once you find that bird, I'm an impatient person. That's why I like to run and gun, and I like to move. I like to cover ground. I'm aggressive. I will do a lot of calling again because that's what gets my heart rate racing. I like it. I like that blood pumping. I like hearing that turkey gobble and making the hair on the back of my neck stand up. That's my thing. So I call a lot. My issue is patience. So you know, I'm gonna pause here just until someone else gets up here. But if you don't have patience, you're probably not gonna kill a turkey if you've never killed one before. If he gets to gobbling at you, sit still. I bet you the little boy that I told earlier in this thing that I put him on the three longbeards that came in. We hunted it. We had those birds gobbling in the tree in the dark. They hit the ground, come right by us, out of range, went down in the woods, fall on a hen, and they stayed in the woods behind us, I bet, for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And they finally, we coaxed them enough to come and leave those hens alone and come looking. And when they actually come right by my blind that I was in, which again I don't like using, but we were trying to film, put this little boy on a hunt on his first bird. The three longbeards come right by us, went out in the field, and again he missed. But the patience part played into it because those birds, literally at one point, we've got them on video. That's also on my channel if you want to go up there and look at that. Those birds hung out behind our blind 30, 45 minutes gobbling, and we could see them. There was just the little boy didn't have any shot at them. But we had to have patience to just sit there and see it through. Um, the other thing is also, um, you know, early in the season, especially here, if you have one gobbling and you get all excited, say he's gobbling on the roost, he's still in the tree, it's just about good in daylight, and he's gobbling, and you hear other hens around, the likelihood of you killing that bird, that tom, is very low. Because if he's got the real thing and he knows they're there, he knows what they sound like, he knows where they're roosted at, the likelihood of him leaving that hen to come to you is very slim. Um, so a lot of times he goes back to patience. A lot of times, even if he follows that hen off, he might stay gone for an hour. He might stay gone for 2 hours, and then he may come back. So even though I don't like to sit there and wait on birds, say if I make a move and I'm trying to get ahead of them, but it doesn't work. And then they get quiet. A lot of times in my brain, I'm going, okay, he's bred that hen. He's going to go back where he knew he heard another hen, me, earlier in the morning. So I'll try to backtrack and get back to that spot, get set up, and wait on him. Especially if I can strike him up and I can hear him back within range. I'm like, okay, he knows I'm here. Now I have to sit him out and wait. Um, so it's a lot of work involved in it. But I'm gonna wet my whistle here while I'm waiting. If you have a question about turkey hunting, man, let's talk about it. Got the red solo cup. Unsweet tea. I had to give those soft drinks up. Where my turkey hunters at? Go ahead and comment on here. Where you at? Where you watching from? What's your favorite turkey to hunt? What's your favorite state to hunt? Anything like that. Let's talk about it. I'm bored. I'm looking to talk turkeys. I'm in between hunting seasons right now, and I am bored to death. Just sitting here waiting, but it's coming up close. Opening weekend for youth season here in Eastern North Carolina is I want to say April 4th and 5th. I think that Friday and Saturday is, we only get a 2-day youth season this year. Youth can hunt, during the adult season, but the allotted youth season is only 2 days. It's usually like a week. But anyway, it's very hard if you're only giving the kids a couple of days to get on them. I don't know why they chose to do that this year. But don't even get me started on wildlife management divisions here in North Carolina. They are terrible. They don't seem to know what they're doing with our hunting or our marine fisheries or anything. Like I won't even get that's a conversation for another day. But in their eyes, all the fish that people like to catch are extinct. So, like a flounder is like a dinosaur here. They think that they don't exist at all. But but anyway, the way they manage some of the laws and stuff here are just ridiculous. But that again, that's a conversation for another day. Let's have a conversation now. Go ahead, somebody comment on here. I've got a couple of viewers on here, but I sure liked it when it was 20 some people on here. But if you have a question, something that, or even a comment, it don't even have to be a question. You might have a tip that you can offer somebody that has never killed a turkey before that might help them be successful this year. That's what this video is about. Just sharing information. I'm going to get something to drink while we're waiting. And hopefully somebody else will sign on here shortly. But we'll see. We're talking turkey hunting, guys. Talking turkey hunting. If you have a question, ask away. If you have a comment that would help a new turkey hunter, that's what my channel is honestly all about. It's about helping people be more successful and sharing what I enjoy doing, which is being in the outdoors doing anything. I love to hunt. I love to fish. I'll stand up here and I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm standing here in my den right now, and as you can see, uh, I love to hunt. And when people are signing off, they're signing on. I know because I've done it too. I get it. But ooh, what's that in the background? We're talking turkey hunting, guys. turkey season's almost here, but I'm kind of giving everybody kind of a tour around here. Um, that right there was the first turkey that I ever killed, and he was a trophy. Can't really see him on here, but for North Carolina, he was a really big bird. Uh, he was over 22, almost 23 pounds, inch and a half long spurs, and a huge, just bodied bird. But that was the very first one I ever killed, and big old beard on him. And the old man that kind of mentored me a little bit told me, he said, Neil, if you ever, you said you want to mount a turkey, if you were ever going to mount one, that's the one you want. So that's what I did. And of course, I got the first bear, only bear that I've ever killed. You can hear my boots clogging around in here, but yes, I enjoy hunting. That is my thing. Um, and as I told people earlier, I am retired law enforcement, and I'll share some of the things um, that I have done over the years. Um, a lot of my work was involved in narcotics and canine. I've handled 3 police canines in the past, um, but I do a little bit of everything, and that was my retirement flag there. And this flag here, this came from the U.S. Capitol. It was presented to me at my retirement, but got a little certificate from it. A buddy of mine actually got that, and Senator Budd's office, actually, his representative, come down and presented me with that. But we're talking turkey hunting. So if you have a question, you have a comment about turkey hunting, let's talk. Let's do it. Let's get this stuff out in the open to help other people. There are people out here that have never killed a turkey. There are people out here that have no idea what they're doing. I know, I've been there. I want to help you. I want others to help you. So if you have a question or you have a comment that you think would help somebody else, let's talk about it. Let's get it out there and let's help people out. So far, I guess there's a lot of people that already know what they're doing because nobody's asking for help. Where my turkey hunters at? Where my turkey hunters at? Well, you're on here. If you're on here, comment. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know where you enjoy hunting. If you've never turkey hunted, tell me why you haven't. What's the holdup? What's holding you back from giving it a try? Mine, I just always thought maybe there's nothing fun about it because my dad didn't do it. He had no interest in it. And so I was an adult before I ever started going. And now it's like my favorite thing to do. But what about you guys? Where you hunt at? Do you have any questions about it? If you don't do it. If you turkey hunt, where do you turkey hunt at? Comment down in the little comment box. Let me know that you're on here. Let me know that you're watching. If you have questions about turkey hunting, let's talk about it. Let's help somebody out that that didn't have this. When I first started hunting, we didn't have this easy access to information. And I know there's a lot of videos out there, but I'd rather do it, real time. I put my videos out there too. I very rarely do these live videos. I've only done a couple. But everybody says, hey man, you want your channel to grow, you have to do more lives. So here I am. I'm putting myself out there, sacrificing my time. So I've been on here almost an hour. and gotten a few questions or a few comments, but not a lot, far as actual questions. But I know there are people out here with questions about how to turkey hunt, or what are they doing wrong? What are, what's something that they might need to try? So if you're new, if you're new to hunting, let me know. If you're new to turkey hunting, but you want to try it, but you have tried it and you just haven't been successful. Like I said earlier in the video, I was in my fourth season before I was successful because I didn't have anybody to teach me anything. Um, I had an old man who he since passed away. He gave me a little bit of information, and but it's not like he took me under his wing and was taking me hunting. He just shared a little insight with me, and that old man's one that told me, hey, you're trying to use decoys, leave them at the house until you learn to kill turkeys. And I feel like I know how to kill some turkeys now. And I killed my first one with decoys last year, and it was fun. But I agree with him. I feel like leaving those decoys at the house made me a better hunter. And but I will still take them from time to time. I won't do them every time. If I'm by myself and I'm running and gunning, I'm probably not going to have decoys with me. If I'm wanting to get up close and personal, and I'm wanting to video a hunt, and I want some interaction there, and maybe try to get some good video, then I'm probably going to use a decoy or three. I've got, I think, four. I think I've got four turkey decoys, but again, I've never had much success with them because early on I didn't know what I was doing with them, and now I feel like I could take them and be more successful. I just don't want to rely on a turkey decoy to be successful. What about you guys? Do you use decoys when you hunt? And if so, where do you hunt? What state are you in? What subspecies of turkey is your favorite? Which ones do you go after the most? For me, the only ones that I've pursued is the eastern, and they're hard enough. They're enough of a challenge here, especially in North Carolina, that they keep me busy, especially with friends that have never killed them or not, very experienced with them. I always prefer to put somebody else on one before I even pull the trigger myself. So um, most of the time, early in the season, especially if they're still working and things like that, I'm going to take somebody else and and let them be the trigger man before I decide to do it. If I'm by myself, which I'll have a lot of time to do that on my own this year, then that's what I plan to do. I'll be my own trigger man and cameraman and caller and everything else. Try to do it all. But but anyway, what about you guys? I see there's three on here right now. Where do you turkey hunt? Do you turkey hunt? If not, why not? What's the holdup? Why have you not tried it? Comment in there. That way I don't feel like an idiot sitting here just talking to myself. And while I'm gonna give you an opportunity to type your question or your comment, and I'm gonna wet my whistle. Where are you watching from? Comment in there, let me know. I'll chat with you. I'm down to one. Where are you watching from? Mr. Viewer, I don't think I can see on here who is watching, but that's why I rely on you just to come on here and chat with me. I am in Eastern North Carolina. Where are you guys from? I keep giving everybody a little tour of my little trophy room in here. There's my black bear that I killed. And that was my first turkey ever. Got a few euros on the other side of the pool table there. But most of my stuff is, I've quit mountain deer because I just don't have room anymore. I try to limit everything in here. My wife hates my largemouth bass. I have retired those out to my shop, and they're out there. She's always thought those were ugly mounts, but I was proud of them. But some battles just ain't worth fighting. So now, if I shoot something, most time, I mean, I was trying to do like the fan displays and stuff like that for a while, and I don't even do that anymore. Um, my next thing that I really want to do, a few years ago, I killed a bearded hen, which is a no-no with a lot of hunters. It's a legal bird here, but I killed one, and she was beautiful. And I put her in the freezer, and I would love to get one of those framed art pieces with all the feathers done. I would love to do that, spend the money and do it. But there's so many things that just cost so much money. Those things are expensive. I also have a piebald deer in the freezer that I want to. I would love to get the. I'd love to get it mounted, but I just don't have. I just don't want to spend the money on it, to be honest, because it's a small deer. It was a button head, but beautiful colors, from the piebald hide on it. But I'd love to get it skinned out and just get the hide tanned on it and make a little rug or something out of it. I feel like that would be beautiful. What about you guys? uh, I'm asking people that are new to turkey hunting, comment on here. If you're not new to turkey hunting, comment on here. Where you watching from? Where do you hunt at? What's your favorite turkey to hunt? If you've hunted more than one subspecies or in more than one state. Well, I am probably going to give this to a 1 hour mark that I've been on here, which is coming up very, very soon, because nobody really has any questions or comments about turkey hunting. Um, if somebody comments on here and gets a conversation going, then I'd be happy to stay on longer. But I don't want to just stay up here just to stay up here and kill my battery. Um, I just want to get on here and chat with folks and just find out where people are watching from. Um, I do this. I get on the internet and I get on YouTube, and I'll get on these little chat things sometimes and talk back and forth with hunters, and that's how I meet people. Um, but I'm trying to gain some subscribers and gain some followers and some friends. So follow my channel if you get a chance. I got a bunch of hunting videos on there. Got some turkey hunting videos that were successful. I've had some that were not, but they're still comical. Swing and misses are always fun too. But I'm probably going to sign off on here in a little over a minute, unless somebody has a question or concern. If they have a question or comment about turkey hunting, uh, ask away, but ask it quick. If you get a conversation started, I'll be happy to stay on here longer. I'm just going to cut it off if nobody really wants to chat today. So let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to turkey hunting and you have a question, and you've always wondered something, let me know. If you don't turkey hunt, why? What has held you back on trying it? If you are turkey hunting and you haven't been successful, why do you think it is? I might have some insight, or somebody on here might have some insight. That's why I'm saying, even if you're not new and you have a tip, put it on here. People are going to see this. I'm down to one. I'm down to one. Are you going to sign off too? Yep. All right, folks. It is 59 minutes and 45 seconds. So I guess I am going to sign off of here since nobody really wants to talk anymore. So I appreciate you at least clicking on it, seeing what we were about. We were trying to talk a little turkey hunting with the upcoming season. But do me a favor, check my channel out if you get an opportunity. Go on there and subscribe if you don't mind. Watch some of the videos on there. There's a lot of turkey hunting videos on there, a lot of fishing videos, a lot of deer hunting videos. And I'll probably come back on here in another day or two and give her a run again and see if anybody wants to talk. I might even try this later on this evening. Excuse me, and see if anybody wants to chat about upcoming turkey season. Our season comes in next month here in Eastern North Carolina, and man, I love them. I am all about it. Excuse me with the hacking and cough in my throat's getting a little dry, but I'm gonna give it one more chance. If anybody watching has a question about turkey hunting, something that they want to ask that they think might make them more successful, ask away. If not, I will see you guys at another time. But I appreciate everything that you do. Thanks a lot.